Crypto volatility makes oil and gas volatility look mild.
Scams happen in crypto. They happen a lot. And they're doing it to catch that kind of FOMO-driven early purchase.
The open metaverse is about sovereignty of the individual, but it also allows for a form of collectivism.
You do have to kind of rely on corporate models to get big innovations done, don't you?
A society based entirely on unbridled free markets is generally not going to end well.
In the past year, the world of cryptocurrency, with all of its unpredictability and price schizophrenia, attracted millions of new adherents.
This Bitcoin bounce was basically exactly what you predicted.
And billions of new dollars.
Bitcoin was up 65%.
Raising interest rates could be bullish for Bitcoin.
Ethereum was up 500%.
Buy crypto.com.
As the year was coming to a close, Bitcoin almost reached $70,000.
Crypto bulls seem to have blinders on and suggest that everything's bullish.
And even Wall Street had, if not embraced, then given a tentative hug to the world of decentralized finance.
2021 was really the year that we saw the mainstream Wall Street Bitcoin strategy.
Crypto isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's rapidly expanding. In 2021, it was difficult to avoid journalists and techno-utopians prattling on about the metaverse, which I presumed was some sort of Dungeons & Dragons virtual reality world.
The intersection of gameplay, DeFi, and metaverse is going to be a huge theme.
Like most people on Earth, I'm not entirely clear on what the metaverse does, why I need it, and if I do need it, how I get away from it. Jamie, are you ready to chat?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. For the uninitiated, what is the metaverse?
The kind of simplest way to think about what the metaverse is a point when the digital and the physical kind of bleed into one another. From a technical perspective, it's really this hardware and software that makes that possible.
Jamie Burke is the founder of Outlier Ventures and the host of the Metaverse podcast. He agreed to be my virtual tour guide through this nascent virtual world.
Let me see, let me just open VRChat. By the way, I'm at initializing world. What the fuck is that?
Crypto shaman.
Looks like you're about to invade the Capitol.
I'm going to take you on a trip.
Why am I clapping?
I must say we've never had a guest like this before.
And I'm terrified to touch anything lest I start dancing again. All right, there we go. After I get over the kind of initial, this is cool, like what is the utility of something like this?
Environments like VRChat are social spaces. So you can go into mini spaces. They might have events on, kind of meetups. We use this as a virtual studio where we bring in creators and stuff called the Metaverse Show.
You're actually doing a show in this environment.
Yeah. So we have one guest. We kind of do like 10, 15 minutes, have a chat. And then normally we kind of walk out to see that green door.
Yeah.
That allows us to then jump into other different virtual worlds. Another virtual world. And I think the next place we're going to go to is Decentraland.
What the fuck is this? Look at all these nerds.
Oh, I can see you actually. I've got you.
That's great. I'm the guy right over there with a mustache. You could pick anything and that's what you picked?
That's the board luck that I could do.
You do look like a pervert. I'm sorry to say.
These decentralized worlds, the UX suffers a little bit, right? Compared to, say, a highly centralized gaming environment. Jump down that big waterfall vacuum.
Oh, Jesus. That's happened.
Wearing a kilt as well.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I knew this was going well. But
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I try to be Scottish in all virtual world.
Let's go to 100x Art District first. We kind of built this over a year ago.
You own all of this NFT art.
Right.
So I just clicked on one. It says the current price is 5 ETH.
You click view on OpenSea. So it's like this hyper open market where you can real time see what people are paying, what they're listing, and if you're going to get a good deal or not. Digital wealth, it's a wearable, it's a skin, it's NFTs, virtual plot of land. Doesn't matter what it is. You can freely sell it. You can transfer it between one platform to another, or you could use that as collateral in something called DeFi. Borrowing and lending, leveraging crypto on blockchains outside of regulated markets.
So this piece of land here, when you bought it, how much was it?
Less than $1,000, I would say, £1,000.
And that's in £1,000 in real money.
In real money, yeah.
Real estate prices skyrocket because of scarcity. Scarce land equals scarce housing equals rising prices. But in the digital world, space and building materials are limitless. Yet people are paying up to $1 million actual real dollars for a single plot. A recent report by crypto asset manager Grayscale estimates the digital world may grow into $1 trillion business in the near future.
Logging in again. Here we go.
So we are now in Sandbox, this kind of virtual world builder with a kind of gaming component. A number of different people running around as avatars. Obviously that isn't the actual Snoop.
NFT, never forget to pass it.
Snoop creates content, virtual experiences for his VIPs, but then there are also in-game items, whether it's Snoop avatar, Snoop wearables, Snoop cars. It's a way for him and other brands to kind of monetize their franchises. So we're going to walk up to this world now. This is an NFT infused game.
Dungeon of Dumb.
You can create objects in these worlds that are NFTs. You either find them, win them by battling a creature, and that NFT, you own it. Sandbox doesn't own it. I can then sell that in OpenSea. I could even borrow against it if it was a really rare, precious item. So as a gamer, the stuff that I'm earning in this space are forms of wealth.
I mean, it's interesting because you have the kind of stereotype of, nerdy kids sitting in their basement, wasting their lives playing games. And essentially what you just described is an entirely parallel economy.
This is why, honestly, I find it insane that there is such resistance from both game developers, VR developers, or users. Why would you want to have all the value captured by companies that you're either paying or you're employed by? And I think very quickly you're going to start to see this world where creators and players are kind of almost emancipated from the prison that is Web 2.
The metaverse clearly isn't quite ready for prime time. But some of Silicon Valley's biggest, most awkward players are betting on its widespread adoption.
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, and we call this the metaverse. This isn't about spending more time on screens. It's about making the time that we already spend better.
Facebook, which owns Oculus, the world's largest manufacturer of VR headsets,
oh yeah, that's kind of working. Look at that.
Recently changed its name to Meta, reflecting its commitment to being hated in both the physical and virtual worlds.
After party passes? Yes!
And so this is like the distinction between the metaverse and the open metaverse. That's an important distinction, right?
Yeah, so the most important thing for us about the open metaverse is it is an open economic system. In the open metaverse, we're prioritizing accessibility. We're prioritizing inclusion, that you can play this on a smartphone, you can use it on a laptop and a browser. A big problem at the moment is that to participate in Facebook's metaverse, you need a very expensive headset, right? Very expensive piece of hardware. And so big tech's metaverse doesn't look to solve for financial exclusion. It looks to sell as many expensive bits of hardware as possible.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear.
And it looks to serve as many ads as possible through data collection and this kind of surveillance capitalism.
In the non-corporate controlled worlds of Decentraland and Sandbox, you're an autonomous customer. The benefits of not being under the control of weirdo czar Mark Zuckerberg are obvious. With openness comes freedom. But that freedom is also freedom for bad actors.
platforms do not have the manpower or the will to police their own environments. So who cares? Who would police these environments? And I think it's the user, right? The people can control their own individuated experience. And so effectively, you're crowdsourcing how these environments are policed.
Crypto scams are also becoming mainstream.
Before the pandemic, crypto's market cap was around $800 million. During the pandemic, 1 in 10 Americans used their stimulus checks to buy crypto.
Bitcoin hit $1 trillion market value.
Apps like Robinhood and Coinbase have made the once Byzantine process of buying crypto user-friendly.
Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Helping push the total market cap to around $3 trillion in 2021. But where there are piles of cash, there too are committees of vultures.
A whopping $3.2 billion worth of crypto was stolen last year.
While the government is ramping up plans for oversight and regulation, and law enforcement is paying closer attention, crypto con men are as prolific as ever.
Cash App was hacked.
I got scammed.
Apple was hacked.
Vest with Jennifer Lopez.
Kanye West was hacked.
When I say scammed, I really got scammed.
Joe Biden? Bro, when is Joe Biden gonna give you twice the amount that you donate?
It's hard to keep up with the sheer volume and variety of crypto scams and grifts. But there are few, if any, people in law enforcement available to actively hunt small-ball crypto scammers.
Let's make a scam coin.
But unregulated markets tend to create their own regulations and freelance regulators.
There are aspects of crypto that are being exploited by scammers.
Gabagool, presumably not his real name, was initiated into crypto shortly after graduating from college. Like many Americans in early 2020, he was running a time surplus and a cash deficit.
Getting into crypto was purely a hobby. It was something to do during COVID.
So it wasn't ideological in the sense that you said, I love this idea of decentralized finance.
I had all the student debt from graduate school, and I was starting to face the fact that I would need to pay that off. And so I wanted to understand, how does debt work?
Were you doing traditional investing too?
See, I don't know anything about the stock market, but on Twitter, I was able to interact with people who were trading crypto and talking about DeFi, decentralized finance, in a way that I felt like I was early. I could have maybe a slight bit of an edge. The thing that drew me into crypto is this kind of DAO model, decentralized ownership. So instead of having a corporate structure with a hierarchy, you have people that are collectively participating in governance and ownership.
There's something a little bit utopian about we get to do this collectively on our own, but it's not just like, rank greed.
I kind of had a little bit of both. I was taking unemployment checks and investing in crypto. Yeah. And there's a speculative, greed-based desire there.
Were you making money?
I made money. Yeah. Also, I was paying my rent all through 2020 by investing in these emerging DeFi protocols.
Much has been made of the anonymity of crypto transactions. There are no banks ready to answer a subpoena for records. But on the blockchain where transaction data resides, you're only so anonymous. Because crypto transactions exist on a public ledger, available to anyone with an internet connection. The actual human associated with a particular wallet is anonymous. The contents aren't. And that means clever people like Gabagool can sometimes use deduction and publicly available information to track down the bad guys.
There's actually an enormous amount of publicly available data, information about how many tokens exist, how long those tokens are vested, how long until they unlock and can be dumped.
If you know that I'm a crypto whale, how do you find my wallet? Because it's not public in that sense.
Say you're tracking a venture capital fund and trying to find what projects they're investing in. You might be looking at the accounts that the partners at that fund are following on Twitter. One thing I look at a lot are ENS domains. It's basically a human-readable account name for the wallet address. My wallet is gabagool.eth. So if someone wanted to see an NFT that I own, they could find all of the NFTs that I own on that wallet. My largest holding right now is a token that I was rewarded as a bounty for finding out about basically a scam.
Tell me about that.
So Ribbon Finance announced this token publicly, and then they had a process where the token was airdropped.
Airdrop.
An airdrop.
What is an airdrop? Free money.
An airdrop is a marketing tool used to raise awareness of new cryptocurrency tokens by distributing them for free.
It's when cryptocurrency is dropped to an individual's wallet. People are getting airdropped 10, 20, 30 grand or more.
Early investors are the most common recipients of airdrops, as a kind of thank you for believing in the token.
They're just giving it to you, basically.
They're giving it to you.
Yeah, I'm FOMOing the fuck out of this right now. I just don't do anything, and they just drop cash into my lap. That sounds pretty good.
Sounds good, but investing early in small-cap cryptocurrencies, hoping to receive an airdrop, isn't something the casual investor can depend on. It was an airdrop which brought Ribbon Finance's token to Gabagool's attention. He began monitoring Ribbon transactions on the blockchain.
So this is when it started. May 17, 2021, the Ribbon founder sent an email out to Ribbon's investors informing them that that token would be airdropped. I was watching the orders come in, and I noticed a 17 ETH sale. For me, that was a lot of money, so I wanted to see, who's this person? Did they get an airdrop? And I clicked into their wallet so I could see everything they held, and I noticed that every 2 minutes, another wallet was depositing between 16 and 20 ETH. And that was very suspicious. The wallet was linked to an analyst who worked at a venture capital fund that was invested in Ribbon Finance. This is a tweet I sent when I discovered this happening. This analyst, Bridget Harris, so that's Bridget Harris' Twitter account, has made 650 ETH from Ribbon Finance airdrops. Let me be clear, yeah, it's not her, it's Divergence Ventures. She was just executing a strategy.
And you know that for a fact, they copped to that.
They copped to that. So this is like an alternate identity that this analyst created because they wanted to create a bunch of wallets to farm this airdrop.
Yeah.
When Gabagool exposed the strategy, the crypto community reacted with fury, because it looked as if Divergence, as an investor in Ribbon, may have gamed the distribution of tokens using insider information.
So they put $600 in and they came out with 93,000.
And this is one wallet. So
maybe this is multiple wallets.
I think they did it 35 times.
It's possible Divergence did this without knowing about the impending airdrop. And after Gabagool's accusations went public, they made precisely this claim.
So it's a type of legal insider trading.
So I am reluctant to use the term insider trading just because it has a specific meaning.
I'm not.
But they
Sue me, motherfuckers.
They were trading on information that was not public.
Though not illegal, Gabagool saw the activity as unethical and exposed it to his Twitter followers.
An hour after I tweeted about this happening, Divergence tweeted a public apology.
We crossed the line.
I mean, this is an amazing line. One of the goals of Divergence Ventures is to make money. Like, no shit. You're a venture capital firm.
The next sentence says, we had no insider information. That's not true?
That's bullshit. Divergence returned this 702 ETH. They actually ended up returning an additional $12 million.
But you made some money off of this.
I was rewarded a whistleblower bounty, so 5% of the total amount returned by Divergence Ventures.
If you scour through various live streams, comment threads, and memes, the responses to those gaming the system swing from frothing at the mouth outrage to envy, endorsement, and respect. And because this sort of thing is legal, it has drawn government scrutiny, including from SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. But the government has thus far tread carefully. No new crypto regulations have yet been tabled, leaving the policing of the crypto finance space up to people like Gabagool.
Yeah. People are greedy.
Yeah.
People are greedy, and we need to design protocols that take that into account. We need to encourage a community that is aware of that greed and protect against their own instinct.
The explosion in retail crypto investing has exacerbated some of the sector's known inefficiencies, like mind-bogglingly high transaction fees and, more notoriously, the environmental impact of mining Ethereum and Bitcoin.
It's a wild west out there, an environmental disaster.
In one popular estimation, the energy required to run crypto networks and mint cryptocurrencies uses more electricity annually than the whole of Argentina. This isn't only an environmental threat, and it is, but a threat to profits, sending crypto miners scouring the globe for cheap energy sources. But as with anything crypto, existential questions for the project often produce brilliant innovations.
You start to feel it now.
Start to feel it right now.
Yeah.
Cully Kavnis is the CEO of Crusoe Energy. Just as Gabagool and Zach are self-appointed crypto cops and regulators, Kavnis is a sort of freelance EPA official. And Crusoe Energy is using a unique technology to mitigate two significant environmental problems.
We're in the Bakken oil field, and these are 4 Bakken shale wells. So this is fracking. These wells were hydraulically fractured.
What comes out of the ground when fracking occurs isn't just oil. but also quite a bit of natural gas.
Previously, this gas, which is methane, right?
Mostly methane.
Was just burnt off, not used.
Correct. You can actually see a well that is flaring there, wasting energy, methane going to the atmosphere. But you can see now there is no flaring. And the reason for that is because we're consuming all the gas in our mobile modular data centers.
Crusoe has converted a waste product from oil extraction into electricity for computers. And these computers are essentially printing money, because Cavness is running a series of very large Bitcoin mines.
Those computers are beeping and whizzing and whirring. What are they doing?
Those computers are functioning like the Visa payments network in a lot of ways. They're processing transactions. In exchange, they earn a reward, which is a small piece of newly minted Bitcoin.
It's a clever solution to a pernicious problem, a 19th century energy source fueling one of the 21st century's most innovative financial products.
So what do you see the future of this?
It's reached over $1 trillion of market cap. More than 20% of the hedge funds in the country now hold crypto. There's more than 60 million Coinbase accounts. There's a pattern of the way that assets become a monetary good. And they start as a collectible, then they become a store of value, then a medium of exchange, and finally a unit of account. We're only 12 years into this, and in the long-term monetization of something, it's probably a hundreds of years process.
Crypto is indeed innovative, exciting, and even revolutionary.
We think it's a win-win-win.
Though the proliferation of scams, fake coins, and Ponzi schemes has the potential to dampen the public's enthusiasm. If 2021 was the year of crypto FOMO, 2022 is looking increasingly like the year of crypto correction.
Bitcoin is crashing and everyone is wondering what the hell is going on.
Definitely a pivotal week for Bitcoin.
The stories of insta-millionaires giving way to told-you-so tales of panic selling and bag holding. One consistent criticism of cryptocurrency has been that its wild volatility will prevent widespread adoption. And those curious, greedy, utopian newcomers shouting "to the moon" now find themselves hurtling back to Earth. In just a few months, Bitcoin lost half its value, and the larger crypto world shed $1 trillion in market cap. And it's still not entirely clear what problem the metaverse is solving. For us boring normies, who transact most business with a weakening and inflation-plagued dollar, not a volatile cryptocurrency, the thought of buying NFTs from rappers in a world of make-believe doesn't yet seem necessary. The Open Metaverse project is promising, I suppose, but it decided to catch the public imagination at a most inopportune time. After 2 years of pandemic-induced isolation and on-screen facsimiles of family, friends, and coworkers,
holy fuck.
Jesus Christ.
The prospect of shopping, playing games, or making friends in the metaverse seems unappealing.
Who is a good persistent state virtual object layered on an interactive pass-through environment? Oh, you are?
We've been kept from the real world so long, the virtual one can probably wait.
I'm Michael Learmonth, editor-in-chief of Vice News. Too often, traditional news outlets shy away from the real stories and experiences of those living through global conflicts. Not Vice News. Our reporters are on the ground, fearlessly covering the human stories that shape our world. You and millions of others can continue to read, watch, and listen to Vice News for free. But we hope you'll consider making a one-time or ongoing contribution of any size at vice.com/contribute. Every contribution, no matter how big or small, helps support the journalism Vice News brings to you every day. Thank you.